All right, everybody. It is I, your host, Michael Garza, 4-3. Give me one moment. I'm setting everything up. We're going to be reacting to a little bit of Iran drama. Now, Iran is just a disappointment. Look, if you guys expected Iran to do anything intelligent, well, I appreciate your optimism. I'll just say that. Yeah, obviously Iran was never going to do the right thing. It's pretty obvious. But we always have a little optimism on this show. We do try to be optimistic, even about Iran, even though I think Iran is out of their bloody minds, dude. And look, Trump's the man. I say this all the time, dude. Setting up everything real quick. Sorry about you guys. Will. We're here. We're ready. 'Cause I'm ready for what's to come. No, I said, are you ready? Yeah. Are you pretty? Yeah. For what's to come. Hey, Mr. Hero, walking a thin fine line. 'Cause heroes come and heroes go. Remember your roots, my friend. We got it down below. 'Cause heroes come and heroes go. No, I said, are you pretty? Yeah. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, Michael Garza, 4-3. All right, so we're pulling up a bit of information. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, sugar, let me know. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, sugar, let me know. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. It is I, your boy, Michael Garza, 4-3. Okay, so we're going to react to Trump dog. Iran negotiations slow as Trump demands a deal. Yeah, I don't think, you can't trust Iran, period, end of story. You just can't.
You'll find out soon.
Okay, let's. Fox and Friends are my only friends, just kidding. Ozzy, what's up, Brody?
They're giving a letter supposedly tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
Do you think they're slow rolling it? Do you think they're intentionally slow rolling the process? Mr. Pratt.
We'll find out soon enough.
You'll find out soon enough, says President Trump, telling reporters he expected a response from Iran last night on a proposed peace deal to end the war and, of course, that regime's nuclear program.
And will they?
It comes after U.S. forces say they launched defensive strikes against Iran after their ships were attacked in the Strait of Hormuz.
So can we expect an update soon? We're going to bring in retired Army Colonel and former CENTCOM Communications Director Joe Buccino. Joe, welcome to the show. Really great news to hear that the president believes we may
Happy Saturday, Ozzy.
see
Thank you,
a
bro.
peace negotiation, some sort of settlement here between Iran and our country. Do you have an idea of why we haven't heard it yet? It's 7:30 a.m., or is that pretty normal? We'll get something maybe a little later in the morning.
No, I anticipate we'll get something back today, probably later in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon our time here in the U.S. But, Iran is going to try to delay this as long as they can. And anything they come back with is going to be part of a delay tactic. So, negotiations with Iran are notoriously very difficult. This is always a challenge to go back and forth with Iran. There's a lot of additional challenges and complexities right now because you're dealing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Iran's making a deal either because Iran's just too crazy. Their government's too insane. The Iranian regime is cooked in all actuality, in my opinion. So I don't have a lot of faith in where the Iranian government's going. I really don't. I just don't understand why people really think that Iran's going to strike some sort of magical deal. They're not. I mean, people should already know how Iran works, right? They should, but do they? I don't think they do. I don't think most people realize just how Iran actually works. This is what Iran does. They stall, and they stall. You can't trust Iran worth shit. Period. End of story, dude.
With a fragmented leadership between the parliament, the IRGC, and the mullahs. We're not sure who the parliament is communicating with. We're not sure which of the mullahs are alive. And the Ayatollah is underground, and he's only communicating.
The asshole Ayatollah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Iran sucks. Iran's government is terrible. Trump's the man, though. No, I'm serious. I don't know if Trump's going to be able to get a deal, though. Even the best deal maker, I don't think he can get a deal with Iran. Then again, who knows? I mean, look, I think that Trump can win most negotiations. He's that good. But I don't know. Either way, Trump's the GOAT. I firmly believe that. Let's keep going, man.
Through passing notes. So look, there's a lot of complexity here trying to get this done.
Well, and Joe, that complexity, it appears that you have basically the parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, and the foreign minister, Arachi, that seem to want to get to that negotiation table in good faith, potentially, in Islamabad. But yet you have the IRGC commander right now, Ahmad Vahidi, who has a long history as the first commander of the Quds Force under most...
Here's the problem. Iran is so fractured, you're never going to be able to get a deal. Not all sides are going to like it. Iran's fractured. So at this point, you got to get rid of their military. You got to get rid of Iran's military. That's my opinion. That's my belief. You gotta. There's got to be something. Something's got to give at some point. And it just blows my mind. But nobody could be honest with this one. Nobody could be honest.
Ayatollah Khamenei's father, Ali Khamenei, and he is apparently holding out. How do we get a progress in this if he remains holding things up?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Oh, I realized I have to do something real quick. Hold on, you guys. I have to, I'm going to put this back in the fridge real quick because I brushed my teeth. I don't want to mess up my toothpaste or anything. I gotta find my headphones because it's going to go for a walk. So my wired headphones from Walmart basically crapped out on me. They're only $10, but still, $10 is $10. I have better headphones that are wireless, so I'm going to use those. I just prefer earbuds, but I got to find those headphones and charge them real quick. Hold on. They were right here the whole time. I just wanna rock DJ, 'cause you're making me feel so nice. Just wanna rock DJ. Okay. Okay. I'm back. All right, let's keep going.
It's really one of the critical points here, Griff, is that you've got real hardliners that have
I will never shave my
assumed
bush, bro. I will never shave my bush. I will never shave my bush. Bruh.
position and assumed power after we killed basically this first two rounds of leaders that we killed early on in this war, February 28th of this year. And, a lot of the hardliners that took over survived the Iran-Iraq war and led forces in the Iran-Iraq war. And the UN brokered peace deal at the end of that war was very humiliating for Iran. And they remember that.
Right.
And they think about that. So, they're really unwilling to take any kind of deal here.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You either get humiliated or annihilated. Which is it? Because either way, you're humiliated. You have the weakest, like Iran clearly has the weakest military compared to U.S. So you're going to get humiliated either way. So here's the thing. If you don't take the deal, you're going to not only get humiliated, you're also going to get annihilated. And if you take the deal, the only thing that happens is you get humiliated. It's better than annihilation. But the way Iran looks at it, they'd rather be annihilated than humiliated. Wow. But yeah, Iran should never seek a nuclear weapon. Period. End of story. Period. We know that. You know that.
That would reopen the Strait of Hormuz because they understand the leverage that they've got over the United States, over Europe, and really over the global economy right now.
Colonel, is it possible that we killed hardliners, that we killed moderates, and then the hardliners were left? Is that part of the problem?
That is indeed what happened, Rachel. That is what happened. So we killed a generation of leaders that perhaps could engender a deal with the United States, that understood the real economic ruin that they'd be facing if this thing goes into the summer, if this blockade goes into the summer, and you replace them with hardliners who really don't care that much if this thing goes into the summer. And so, you're trying to navigate through those hardliners. You're also trying.
So here's what happens. Don't negotiate with Iran. That's lesson one. That's seriously the main lesson. Just don't even bother negotiating with Iran. Honestly, if I were the U.S., I would get every ship in position. I would have every aircraft and aircraft carrier ready. And, and then just finish this completely. Look, I'm not somebody who likes war. I think that's terrible. I think it's an awful thing. But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, why are we getting bullied? Why are we getting told what to do? Why are we waiting on somebody who's only stalling for time? And maybe that's what Trump is. Maybe Trump is counting on that. Maybe he wants them. Maybe he wants Iran to have to show all their cards. Maybe he wants them to reveal their hand. So maybe Trump giving them time actually might be a 4D chess move. I mean, so far, the Iranian Navy's gone. Their military is virtually decimated. They're the ones who don't have the cards. They have no room. They have no leverage to negotiate. It's either you accept these terms or else. That's basically what it boils down to at this point. That is what it boils down to.
Trying to navigate through multiple levers of leadership across the 3 areas of leadership that I mentioned, and you're trying to communicate with people that are not on any kind of communication device, that are afraid to talk on any kind of device that can be tracked. So this is all a very slow process. And then on top of that, you've got Iran. Their traditional position is to delay and try to wait these things out. And right now they're trying to wait out and hold off on any further American military strikes on Iran.
Right.
So this is all taking a long time.
Colonel Pacino, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much,
Take
Joe.
care.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube.
Well, that was interesting, man. Ooh, I want to see this. Senator Pratt humiliates Karen Bass and explosive Hillary.
Statistics says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robbins' plan for treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck.
Yep.
These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth.
Yeah.
My job is to be as crazy.
This guy better win the mayor. This guy better become the mayor of LA. I don't even live in California, but if he's the mayor of LA, that's a real shift change. At some point, the people of LA have to be done with the stupidity that is ruling over them. And the people who are in charge in LA are ridiculous. Straight up ridiculous. I think we all know that. We all know that, right? Come on. Who here knows that? This guy needs to win. This guy needs to become the mayor of LA. Hands down. Hands down, this guy needs to become the mayor of LA. I don't see that LA has any choice. I mean, they do. They can either choose Karen Bass or whoever the hell the other lady is, or they could choose the guy who seems to understand the problems better than they do, and he doesn't brush any of them under the rug. This guy needs to become the mayor of LA. Period. End of story.
Crazy as this will sound, I'm the adult in the room here at Spencer Pratt, and that's what it's come to.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into a political brawl that makes reality TV look tame. Spencer Pratt, yes, that's Spencer Pratt, just dropped a truth bomb in the LA mayoral debate, and it's got the establishment types clutching their pearls. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
She doesn't care about safety. She doesn't care about anything she's talking about. At least Mayor Bass pretends to care. Both of these.
At least Mayor Bass. Yeah. Mayor Bass doesn't really care, allegedly.
People have been the reason why there's no more Hollywood.
Well, his whole vibe.
So wait, so Karen Bass is, so you're going to vote for Karen Bass? Are you serious? Karen Bass is a terrible mayor. So you're saying that, to all the leftists in the chat, by the way, I thought you guys had a lick of common sense. Just a lick. At least Pratt says things that make sense, right? Karen Bass is too busy about optics. Dude, Bass 20. Dude, are you serious? You really want, you know what, Jepper, you guys are flat earthers to me. To all the leftists in the chat, you are now not officially. In my mind, you guys are no different than flat earthers. You guys are. You guys are you're the same thing, in my opinion. Let's keep going.
Obviously, if you watch that debate, from the way he talked to the way he acted, he's very Trumpian. And so I'm sure he's going to do very well with, conservatives in his city. But Jesse, there's not really enough of them to elect him realistically.
Let's keep hope alive.
Wow, your donkey stripes are showing there, Jillian.
Yeah, that was quite a setup.
Well, I'm just being realistic.
He's not Trumpian. He's not Trumpian. He speaks on his feet.
So basically, if you speak truth, you're Donald Trump. So this guy, because he speaks truth, he's basically Donald Trump. And because you guys called Donald Trump a Nazi and Hitler, this guy's the same. Oh, my God. The left has this guy is speaking far more common sense. And he's addressing the problems. L.A. has a drug epidemic on their hands. L.A.'s got a lot of freaking problems. And this person is not solving it. This person has a better chance right here. This guy has a better chance of solving it than this person here. All right?
He believes what he says.
I wasn't a ding. I was just saying his style is very Trumpian.
Jillian,
welcome to the fog.
Everybody knows what Spencer Pratt is going through. You just watched your city burn to the ground, and you have a foreign-born socialist and a Karen telling you everything's fine. And then you say you're a liar.
Yeah, and here's the problem. People in L.A. think that socialism's a good thing. Do you want to ruin your city even further? Hell, if we inject socialism any more into the federal government, we're screwing our country for years. We're all going to become like Hassan Piker. We're all going to be champagne socialists.
And some other woman comes over and says, stop the name calling.
Wow, Spencer Pratt, the guy from the hills, is out here sounding like the last sane person in a room full of ideologues. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. Sheesh. But is he wrong? He's not just being edgy. He's articulating a brutal truth that our politicians refuse to acknowledge.
He's absolutely correct. You want to know why? Because he's speaking what's called the truth. Karen Bass and this other socialist gal, they're not speaking truth. This Spencer Pratt guy, dude, he might be the only hope for L.A. And if he wins L.A., man, because, come on, people in L.A. have to be tired of left-wing politics at some point. Because all they do is pay taxes and get nothing in return. Nothing. And here's the problem. You can't tax away a problem because government is inherently corrupt. And what happens is because governments are typically inherently corrupt, a lot of that tax money goes to waste. It goes to nothing. It does. There's no representation. So pay your taxes, of course. Obviously pay your taxes because you're obligated. But just know that when you're paying your taxes, most of those taxes are basically going to nothing. They're going to nothing. And government's ridiculous, dude. I want government to exist, but I don't want overtaxation. Overtaxation is so unnecessary, dude. You can't tax away a problem. California has proven this time and time and time again. You can't just throw more money at the problem and say, can you magically work for me, please? No, solving a problem takes work. It takes a plan, something. But all they do is they just take this money and then I don't even know what the hell they do half the time. But it's painfully obvious from the naked eye that government is wasteful with your tax money.
You can't treat your way out of a fentanyl epidemic when the people addicted to the fentanyl want more fentanyl than they want help. It's like trying to...
If you want to help them, make it to where they can go into drug treatments for free. Make it to where they can go into drug treatment facilities for free. Help them get off the fentanyl. And then problem solved. Don't just hand out crack pipes and needles. You know what I mean? And also, we got to make sure there's no fentanyl on the streets. None. None at all. Does that make sense, everybody?
Put out a grease fire with water. It just makes it worse. These treatment first plans, while sounding compassionate on paper, are utterly failing the streets of LA. Why? Because they ignore the fundamental reality of addiction and the criminal elements that they prey on. They ignore personal responsibility and the need for consequences. When you offer a soft landing without any real incentive to change, you're not helping, you're enabling. These politicians live in a glided cage, far removed from the actual consequences of their policies. Spencer's right. They don't want a bed, they want their next fix. And until we get serious about enforcing laws, clearing encampments, and demanding accountability, LA will continue its descent into a dystopian nightmare.
It already is. It's not just in a descent to a dystopian nightmare. It is a dystopian nightmare. LA has gone out of their minds. It's crazy. There needs to be an incentive to stop the fentanyl epidemic. 1, close off the border. Check. 2, anybody who's currently addicted to fentanyl, if they are doing fentanyl, it should be illegal, and their punishment should be go to a treatment facility. I don't mind if my tax dollars are going to that. If it keeps fentanyl off the streets and it gets less people hooked onto it, I'm all about it, dude. I mean, this shit's terrible. You need to give people an incentive to stay off drugs. John Stevenson says the worst, and I quote, the worst thing some states did was legalize recreational weed. I'm not going to lie. I do find that alcohol and weed are both, in my opinion, both gateway drugs equally. Maybe not equally, I don't know. But I will say this. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying you do you. Whatever you do you. If you're all about that stuff, you be all about it. If you're not about it, don't be about it. But what I do think is personal responsibility needs to matter at some point. And if you're not a functional person because you smoke the you-know-what, that's a problem. But no, I'm loving Spencer Pratt, though, dude. I think Spencer Pratt is going to help LA a lot. I hope they elect him, man. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. I do believe that the one thing I don't like about the weeds is I do believe it makes most people non-ambitious. It makes it to where they're lazy. Not everybody is, but I've noticed that as a pattern of behavior. I've hung out with a lot of stoners in my time. Believe me, I've hung out with the majority of my friends have been stoners. So I understand the stoner personality. No, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything. I'm saying do what you want to do. I'm saying it's up to you. Your life is your choice. You can either, because like seriously, your life is your choice. And if you can at least admit that every single action that you've taken in this life has led you to where you are, then you could be free. Then you can change. If you deny, like if you're in a shitty position in life, and I've been there, I had to admit that I was the reason for being in a crappy position. It's not an easy admission. It's tough. Because then you realize that you're the problem. E.T. says, Jake, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of weed in general. I just never really have been. It's taken some time for me to get used to it, though. It's never been easy. Orwell, that is so freaking not true. Well, by the way, Orwell, the reason they exercise more is half the time they can't even drive because they're too stoned to drive. I've hung out with a lot of people who smoke weed, and usually the reason they walk around more is because they're all paranoid and shit. And which is okay. I mean, if it gets you to exercise, fine. If it gets you to eat, okay, fine. Yeah, honestly though, I don't. Orwell, what are you talking about, dude? By the way, majority of the stoners that I met, they're lazy. Majority, not all. To the people in my life who do smoke, you guys are go-getters. But I met a lot of, I would say majority of the time, stoners are lazy AF, and they come up with excuse after excuse after excuse as to why their life sucks, but they never really point the finger at themselves. That's a problem. And I don't know. A lot of them lack personal accountability. You know, that's a thing. But anyway, let's keep going.
This isn't compassion. It's neglection of duty.
This is what we're dealing with, okay? This is what this country is dealing with. We have had it. We've had it with the politicians. So you get this charismatic, common sense populist with a reality TV background, and he comes in and he just shoots from the hip. And you can kind of see his blood boiling because he's face to face with these politicians who burned his house down and just...
Yeah. Yes. And I would be pissed too. I would be absolutely pissed. You know what? I support this guy wholeheartedly for running for mayor of LA because LA has a problem and they're not going to solve that problem anytime soon. So, I don't know. John Stevenson says, my nephew smokes weed. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I actually don't think weed is good for young people at all. I'm just glad I never did it, you know? I mean, I did it when I was younger a little bit, you know, I just tried it and stuff. And I experimented with a couple things, but at the end of the day, though, man, I don't know.
Destroyed his city. And the one woman, Karen Bass, is like, you know what? We did a great job with the fire. Are you kidding me? It's like Biden said the border's secure. And then you have this Ramen, rhymes with noodle, whatever her name is. She's like, yeah, we should put homeless encampments next to daycare. I mean,
oh my God. Are you serious? What is wrong with these people? This guy's cool. But what is wrong with these people running for LA mayor, dude? I mean, if LA reelects Karen Bass or even elects this person, they're cooked. LA's cooked at that point. LA, you're screwed, dude. You got the worst governor next to Tim Walz. You got Gavin Newsom, worst governor next to Tim Walz. Gift, yum, yum. Gift, yum, yum. Oh, thank you, Annie. I appreciate it. Thank you for the potion for 500 joules. Hell yeah. Everybody give a shout out to Annie. I do appreciate the gifts. Anytime there's gifts, it does help the channel in a lot of ways. So whatever you guys feel like sending my way, I do greatly appreciate it, man. Hell yeah. Thank you, Annie. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been struck by a smooth criminal. Dun 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 dun. Wow. But yeah, no, I think Spencer Pratt is the man, and I really do hope he becomes the mayor of LA. That would be a total victory for people who are tired of the left. And there's a lot of us who are tired of the left. I think if you're a remotely sane person, you'll realize that the left is not good for America. And it just isn't. I mean, a lot of the leftists out there are just, in my opinion, out of their minds. It's true. I think it's very, very true. I know people don't want to admit that. It's a tough admission, but I believe the left has become a huge problem. And I just don't think they should have power. First off, I don't believe any sort of socialist should have power, period. I think socialists and communists abuse power. And it's been shown throughout history that socialists and communists abuse power. So the last thing that LA needs is another socialist mayor. So Spencer Pratt's my boy. I don't even live in LA, but I'm rooting for him, man. Will he win in LA? No, but I will say he's sending a message across the United States saying we're done with leftists ruling over us because they're clearly incompetent, and we need to stop that. I do not support Reagan's anti-gun laws. No. But no, I'm not a big fan of marijuana. I know there's people who smoke it. I'm not a fan of it, though. I don't particularly think it's that great. I think it's really overrated. And granted, I'm not against it, but I'm pretty neutral. It sounds like I'm against it, but I want people to be able to take it if they want to, you know. I'm not a big fan of alcohol either, even though I do drink alcohol from time to time. I'm not like an excessive drinker, but I do occasionally drink. But I'm not encouraging that either, all right? I don't encourage any of those things. I say you do you. Talk to a doctor. Not medical advice. But
I'm surprised he didn't get up and say what Trump did. You people are all crazy. I don't even think these two women even go out.
Dude, that would be awesome if he pointed to the crowd and those and the people running and say, all of you are insane. You're all insane. See it in my eyes? Oh, E.T. caught me, dude.
In the city, what do they do? Go to City Hall and then back to their homes? They have no idea there's a homeless problem. They have no idea the cost of living is crazy. 34 homes have been built in the Palisades since the fire. It's absolute insanity. And if you think either of these two women, especially Bass, is going to run this town when they have the Olympics.
Well, she's going to run it into the ground. Sure.
Hand Bass a torch for the Olympic ceremony. Watch her burn the rest of the place down.
But so were you Team Spidey or Team LC?
Is this a Hills joke?
It is. It's a Hills reference.
Okay, so we should put homeless encampments next to a daycare? Let that sink in for a minute. Just when you think these politicians can't get any more out of touch, they manage to surprise you. This isn't just a gaffe. It's a window into a mindset that is so utterly divorced from reality is terrifying. Who in their right mind thinks that exposing innocent children to this chaos, drug use, and potential dangers of an unsheltered encampment is a good idea? It's not just irresponsible, it's negligent, guys. It shows a complete disregard for the safety and well-being of the very families they're supposed to be serving. This isn't compassion, it's a twisted ideological experiment on the populace. It's the kind of statement that makes you wonder if these people even live in the same city as the people that they're trying to help and serve. They talk about equity and care, but their policies create more suffering and danger. Spencer Pratt isn't crazy for calling it out. He's just speaking the obvious truth that everyone else is too afraid to utter. The emperor has no clothes, and in this case, the emperor is suggesting we put a tent next to your kid's sandbox.
Everybody's got to answer.
That is kind of crazy, though.
I don't know. Are they both blonde? Jillian.
It was an iconic show. I know you didn't watch it.
Feels like The View.
You missed out. Harold, you know, aside from the wildfires, which is the rallying cry now for a lot of politicians in California, he's basically, his platform essentially boils down to, he's like anti-crime, pro-cop, and getting drugs and crime off the streets. It's like kind of hard to disagree with that.
You can't. You really can't. I mean, the California dream isn't what it used to be. And I think if the young man was very performative, he obviously has a great background in acting. I don't know the shows. And I thought his substance was about right. He reminded me of a former politician out of Minnesota named Jesse the Body Ventura, who came along as an independent and upended the political system. Even out there in California, in LA, you had Dick Riordan, the former mayor, who came from the outside, a very wealthy business guy, but came from the outside to try to shake things up. This guy would have, I think, a better shot if he wasn't so performative and actually said, here's what I'm going to do. And to Jesse's point, some of the things were being said, at least some of the things were quoted in our packet. I just said, you guys are wrong. We've tried that way. Here's what I want to do. And here I don't want to be giving advice to this fellow, but people want representation. People want reforms. People want crime dealt with. People want their neighborhoods to be safe, not only from crime, but from fires. And if you can make that case in L.A., I differ with you slightly, Jillian. I think anyone could win if you make a compelling enough case about whether you're the incumbent or not, about what you're going to do to improve people's lives. There's still basics in politics, and that's one of them.
And there you have it, folks. The political establishment caught red-handed, proving once again that they're living in a different universe. Spencer Pratt, a reality TV star, is out here sounding more like a mayor than the actual candidates. He's speaking truth to power, and that's something we desperately need more of. We need leaders who will prioritize safety, common sense, and the well-being of their citizens, not just their next ideological talking point. What do you think? Did Spencer Pratt nail it, or is he just another Trumpian voice in the wilderness?
I don't know. I think Spencer Pratt is pissed off though, ultimately. And it's good. It's good to see somebody who actually is tired of left-wing politics, and yeah, it's nice. And obviously he's running as left-wing or something like that just for the hell of it, because it's the only way he can really run for the Democrat mayor. But yeah, maybe people will wake up and be like, "Oh, this Spencer Pratt guy's the real deal." Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't really know what they're ultimately going to do, but we'll see. We shall see, man. I mean, I don't know. But what do you guys think, though? Do you guys think that Spencer Pratt has a chance to win? I mean, it's L.A., so... I mean, I think his chances are slim because there's so many crazy liberals in L.A. It's like it's pretty tough to win in that environment. But if he wins, I mean, that would be amazing. That would be truly amazing, and thank goodness. But yeah, it's interesting, man. And I support Spencer Pratt, dude. I hope he wins L.A. mayor. The left is crazy. Left is out of their mind, bro. I'm looking into this real quick. That's a little too long. Yeah, I was going to say there just doesn't seem to be... Trying to find something here. Hold on. Trying to give you guys a bone. Trying to react to some good stuff.
Like...
Oh, investing with Cole. Is he still around? Hey. Stud, dude.
I guess, like, as an example, just as like a metaphor, like if a human was having you like go outside to ride a bike, they'd be like, "Hey, put on your..."
Oh, okay. So it's now under index investing with Cole. I didn't know he was still... Hold on. Index investing with Cole. Maybe I got to type in at index investing with... I wonder if my boy ended up blocking me for some reason. Oh, here he is. I'm still subscribed to him. It's weird. I'm subscribed to the guy, but the channel doesn't have any content. Huh. Well, if I go and if he did block me, I'll be able to figure that out here in a second. Oh, wow. Yeah. He doesn't have any content. That's weird. Maybe he got rid of all of his content. That's wild.
Your helmet, but the AI is when the AI is making code,
something of the like. And if you, every day I'm getting more and more impressed of figuring out new use cases for it. I know that a few of the folks I've spoken to, my partner Michael, he's been implementing it a lot at his firm. He's actually taken lead. Yeah, business partner, not. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot these days. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in 2026. But anyways, like there's a lot of like basic programs that they've already automated and replaced. The big stuff, there's a lot of stuff that isn't going away, at least anytime soon. But the market, of course, is horrifying afraid of that.
Capital
and,
mindset,
hence
dude.
you see like the sell-off in software, which continues to still bleed. I think I saw ServiceNow is back in the 80s, or did it come back to low 90s?
I haven't been watching it that close. I bought some shares. They're just sitting in Fidelity, and I'm just gonna leave them there for a while. But I'm definitely down like 4 or 5% on the position.
I think that one's fine. I think you just have to have the patience with it.
Dude, Strongman and I got like the same microphone, bro.
Because the market's gonna look through after the fact, like who's wearing any pants
dude.
or not.
I love Cole.
But right now, it's just assuming all of them don't have pants. Yeah. So, there's probably some opportunities there for sure.
I mean, in my personal opinion, as long as you don't have stuff in Robinhood, which is there to constantly entice you to trade, if you park something you like in an account and you don't touch it, don't look at it a lot, you're not going to be scared out of it, at least in the short term. So that's what I do. Like if I want to buy something and not worry about it, I just put it in Fidelity.
Thank you, Annie. I
rarely
appreciate
check it.
Thank you, Annie. You rock.
If you really want me to gush about AI, the thing that is actually, look. Even if I explain it,
Annie just sent firework for 3,000 joules. Thank you so friggin' much, Annie. You are a rock star. If you all feel gifts, yeah. Amazing, dude. Amazing. Thank you, Annie. I do appreciate that big time.
to you. You're not going to fully understand how much this has changed my life. But it really, it really has helped me a lot. I had the AI, because this was not something I could ever do on my own.
Exhausted.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I slept 4 hours.
Oh geez. But yeah, I basically had to make my own. So through some kind of legal method, I downloaded like 4 terabytes of TV shows onto my computer.
Totally legal, bro.
And so basically I set it up to where like I have them organized into like genres. So I have like sitcoms and like adult animation.
He's such a nostalgia whore.
Yeah, exactly. Anthologies like Twilight Zone and stuff. I have different genres. And so the way the streaming service works is I don't have to like go pick what I want to watch. I just launch it, and depending on what day it is, it just starts playing a certain genre of show. Like on Mondays, it'll play sitcoms. On Tuesday, it'll play like comedy shows and stuff.
That does sound kind of dope, actually. What Cole is describing does sound pretty badass, actually. Go Cole, dude. Cole my hole, bro. I love Cole. I think Cole's the man. I think all these guys are awesome, by the way.
I found that because it used to be, I remember being a kid, like Fridays after school, like you're already excited for the weekend, but specifically Cartoon Network would play all the cool shows Friday night. And then Saturday night, Toonami, they would play all the anime and stuff. And it really it really helped make the weekend even more special. But then with streaming, where I can just watch anything any day, stuff just kind of starts to like blend together. And then I found that basically I've limited all my favorite shows. I've limited them to Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
And so when I come home from the work week, I'm actually all the more excited because I'm like, oh, finally these shows are playing. So I could talk for like 4 more hours about this. I won't. But basically, I've also used AI to make a streaming service, and it's honestly very cool. And I'm very happy AI exists because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do all this Pokemon stuff and coding and all this other stuff. But we do have a donation.
Oh, Antonio Miranda. I still remember when Strongman was a Baba advocate and Chinese stocks. They got destroyed while the U.S. booms. He sells Chinese stocks. They rip. Well, listen, first of all, you rainbow homosexual. Let me go ahead and pull up my
Strongman, what are you
Chinese
doing?
investment.
Why are you saying that, Brony? Don't say
but
that.
no, I did get that. That was
I feel personally.
You know, when Meta was at like $90, I was like, oh, buy Meta, and that went. That was very well.
Meta Magetta, bro.
But no, I definitely, if I were a stock picker, I would have gotten destroyed on Baba. I was very, very confident in Baba.
Alibaba.
And, Bobby was telling me otherwise, but I was like, no, it's Charlie Munger likes it, and then so luckily I didn't pick Baba. Otherwise, I would have lost my ass on that.
Hold on, I got to show this homosexual my Chinese position. I'm sick of the rumors. Okay, like you
Did Strongman sell?
Man.
Well, Fabio said he couldn't stay for the whole time, so you know.
I got you, babe.
Let me show this faggot my position.
You can't say it even that close.
Come on, Strongman. Don't be saying these things. Don't do that. We don't endorse,
gay boy.
We don't endorse that language. We don't endorse that language.
Dude, you're down.
I love Strongman, but I just don't want to risk anything. So if you guys do want to join Strongman's channel, he does have the Way of the Dong. I love you. Take my money. Trolls, and then Rich Donor. Wow, 499. I love you, Strongman. But we don't endorse any of that language that Strongman is saying. We love the Strongman. We do. Yeah. Well, let's change topic a little bit. Oh, Ben McKenzie was on Men's Health. That's sexy. Watch CNBC's fully Rushago fed. I don't really. Oh, maybe I'll watch that. I don't know. Depends. That's the problem with the weekend, though. There's not a lot of fun content to like, as far as like news is concerned. Let's see. Oh, shit. Give me a few moments, everybody. Well, let's just watch this one. Jesse Waters, bro. Prime time, dude.
Fox News alert, we just hit 2 Iranian tankers in the Strait.
Frog,
U.S. Central
eat
Command
frog. What's
releasing
going on,
this
Brony?
video of F-18
We
Super
got Frog,
Hornets
eat frog in the house,
blasting
everybody.
2 Persian
Woo!
blockade runners. The Sea Star 3 and Sevda were sneaking into an Iranian port when they were ordered to turn around. The ships were non-compliant, and then they got sprayed with 22-millimeter machine gun fire right into their smokestacks. The Super Hornets were deployed from our carrier, the USS H.W. Bush. CENTCOM says the 2 ships were disabled on the spot and had to abandon mission. The ships are massive, but they had no crude on board. They were empty and desperate. because Iran's onshore storage is nearly at max capacity. More on that later.
Oh, if you guys can, though, don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream. One more time, double tap your screen to like the stream. I really appreciate it. There's something I got to check real quick here. Hold on. Oh, Frog Eat Frog, you're in the new place, dude? Hell yeah, dude. Everybody give a shout out to Frog Eat Frog. Frog is in the new place. Congratulations, my man. I appreciate you. I'm just glad you're in a better spot. As long as you're in a better spot, that's really the key. I've been thinking about you, man. I've just been, you know, like, I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, Frog's doing okay, man. So Frog's doing good. That's good to hear, bro. Everybody give a shout out to our boy Frog. Eat Frog. Our home dog. Our home frog, I should say. Our home frog. The goat. No, we love Frog Eat Frog on this channel, and we love what he's doing, man. We love what you're doing, bro.
This is now the third Iranian tanker that we've love-tapped this week. On Wednesday, Super Hornets from the USS Lincoln fired several rounds from a 20-millimeter cannon gun into another Iranian tanker's rudder. It was actually the first time an American fighter jet shot at a cargo ship, ever.
Oh, wow.
CENTCOM says multiple commercial...
At a cargo ship? Wow, that's actually kind of shocking. That is wild, though. Truly wild.
Vessels have been disabled, and more than 50 have been redirected by CENTCOM forces to ensure compliance.
I checked out last night. I checked out some of the UFO stuff, and I was like, I was blown away, dude. I was actually pretty blown away by it. I was like, holy shit, dude. It seems like aliens are real. Have they visited us before? I don't know. Here's the thing. The only thing I could think of is that these aliens, if they decided to exist, decided to visit, they would have to have immensely powerful technology. They would have to have very powerful tech. That's a big deal. And the question remains, like, how powerful is this tech? You know what I mean? So, no, I think the UFO stuff is amazing, and I think I can't wait to learn more about everything that's been discovered. I'm pretty excited about it personally, and I don't know. We'll see what all the results are, you know. But there we go. But yeah, no, I'm super excited, man. Super excited. Okay.
The Strait's seen a lot of action in the last 48 hours. Yesterday, the Iranians fired at our guided missile destroyers, and that was a bad decision.
The point is, if there's not much seizing in the firing, because we've
Well, you
seen
should
some
ask that of the
attacks.
Iranians. Don't ask me. We didn't fire. They fired on us. My point is, if you fire at a U.S. Navy ship, what are we supposed to do? Say, oh, there's a ceasefire. We're not going to shoot down your drone. That's a stupid question. That's a stupid position to take. Of course we fired back at them. They were shooting at us. That's what I would expect to do. Only stupid countries don't shoot back when you're shot at, and we're not a stupid country.
The president says if the Iranians think that's bad, then get ready.
Is the ceasefire with Iran still on?
Yeah, it is. They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle. I'll let you know when there's no ceasefire. You won't have to know. If there's no ceasefire, you're not going to have to know. You're just going to have to look at one big glow coming out of Iran. And they better sign their agreement fast.
The Iranians are talking a lot of smack. Their foreign minister says this, quote, every time a diplomatic solution is on the table, the U.S. opts for a reckless military adventure. Whatever the cause's outcome is the same, Iranians never bow to pressure. Sending 18-year-olds on Boston whalers at American missile-guided destroyer, That's a reckless military adventure. We only fire when fired upon. And today, the Iranians lob more missiles and drones at the UAE. Rubio says someone's going to have to teach these guys a lesson, or the whole world will turn into pirates.
Iran now claims that they have a right to control an international waterway. They claim that they have a right to control it. What is the world going to do about that? Is the world going to accept that Iran now controls an international waterway? Because if the world is prepared to accept that, then be ready, because there's like 10 other countries that are going to start doing the same thing in their international waterways, in international waterways.
Yeah.
Near their countries. That's an unacceptable thing that they're trying to normalize.
The president's wall of steel's working.
Dude, Rubio, dude, I swear, this dude's always spot on with everything he says. Like, if there's one thing I love about Rubes, he's just a smart dude, straight up. The thing about Rubio is he is typically the smartest man in the room. We know this. No, Rubio's the man, dude. I love Rubio. Hey, if you guys can, though, double tap your screens to like the stream. One more time, double tap your screen to like the stream. We're trying to get 50 likes in 50 minutes. Once again, we're trying to get 50 likes in 50 minutes, so double tap your screen to like the stream. I really appreciate all you guys for just tuning in and being amazing, and, you know, we love you guys. We love you guys, and we want to put on a good show for you. So double tap your screen to like the stream. If you guys love Jesse Waters and think he's a hunk, double tap your screen to like the stream. Let's go. Yeah, the war needs to end soon, Annie. I totally, completely agree. Who here agrees with Annie? The war needs to end soon, right? And I don't care if there's a peace deal or not. I just want the leadership of Iran to basically go away. Because once the leadership of Iran goes away, the healing can begin. And hopefully the people can create a more peaceful government. Don't know how, don't know what but it's better than what they had. Better than what they had. Dude, they're publicly executing their own citizens, dude. Not cool. It's not cool. It's terrible to publicly execute your citizens. All because they don't think the way that you do.
The blockades already turned around 57 commercial ships. Here's the USS Truxtun, USS Rafael Peralta, and USS Mason operating in the Arabian Sea, just a day after they sank a Mosquito Fleet six-pack. CENTCOM says 70 Iranian tankers are trapped, with over 160 million barrels of oil on board. That's $13 billion of oil just rocking on the docks. They're filled to the brim and can't squeak out of the embargo. And now the New York Times, they're reporting that the Iranians are dumping millions of barrels of crude into the Gulf. Satellite images show a massive oil slick spreading into the water off Karg Island. That doesn't look too good. Primetime reached out to Al Gore for comment. Haven't heard back. We haven't heard anything from any Democrat condemning Iranian economic or environmental terrorism. Another thing we're waiting on? The mullahs.
We should know something today. I mean, we're expecting a response from them. We'll see what the response entails. And the hope is it's something that it can put us into a serious process of negotiation.
We can get it at any moment tonight, but can we trust it? The hardliners want war because they don't know if they can survive another round of protests. And no one's seen or heard from the gay Ayatollah. Sources say his status is Wizard of Oz meets Weekend at Bernie's. The people were...
It's a good one. That is a good one, man.
Negotiating
the
with
gay Ayatollah.
Can't be trusted either. Their lead guy,
the Ayatollah.
A bit of a swindler.
We got Hero, dude.
We said we're not going to take him out initially. At least we have somebody reasonable to talk to. But he wrote a book in 2024 about the power of negotiation. And his parents were rug merchants. And you have to, if you've ever bought a rug in a bazaar, you kind of understand the bartering that goes back and forth. I don't trust him.
The president says he might...
You just can't trust him. Period. End of story. You can't trust Iran.
Restart Project Freedom and plus other things, quote unquote, if the mullahs don't sign the deal. General Jack Keane says the best deal, probably no deal.
Yeah, There's really no point. There is 0 point in signing a deal at this time. Because here's the thing, even when you do sign the deal, if that even happens, I should even say if is more likely the case. If it even happens, chances are nothing's going to happen. I don't think a deal can happen with Iran. Iran has proven time and time again that they just can't be trusted. So, I don't know, you guys. What do you think? Double tap the screen, though, to like the stream. One more time. Double tap your screen to like the stream. Let's keep going. Let's keep flowing. And, yeah. I mean, I would love to see Iran come to the negotiation table and accept the terms. Because, honestly, at this point, Iran has no other choice but to accept the terms. Either you accept the terms or you don't. One or the other. So, come on. What's it going to be, Iran? How's it going to be? Or what's it? I don't know, whatever.
I think the prospects of a good deal are likely slim. And even if we do get a deal, here's the problem with any deal that we make, assuming it meets all of our objectives.
If it does.
To get a deal, we will have to provide some funding for the Iranians, admittedly condition-based, and also sanction relief. So when you draw back from that, even after a negotiated settlement, what do we have? We have a regime that survives and also ability to recover.
Yeah, we don't want this regime to survive. It's got the former Ayatollah's son is allegedly the leader. So do we necessarily want a deal? No. And the thing is, maybe that's what Trump is counting on. Trump is counting on that they're not going to work with him. And because they're not going to work with him, he's going to be able to basically do whatever he wants. And to be honest, Iran's done for, dude. Iran's pretty much cooked.
And I think that is fundamentally flawed.
The president could go either way, epic fury or economic fury. Two great tools. Trump's used both of them. The question is, which one gets the best results? If their pea shooters keep firing, why not knock out the toll booths? Keene says, why not go for the crown jewel?
Yeah. We have an ace here up our sleeve, so to speak. It's Carg Island, and we're obviously blocking it now from any transport coming out of there, and that represents 90%, of their oil resources. So clearly, the blockade over time will force an economic collapse. But we can hold Carg Island hostage. If you're going to attack Qatar's natural gas or the Saudis or the UAE's oil fields, we're going to begin to take Carg Island away from you in terms of physical destruction.
Right. And this just in. The U.S. Special Operations Command ship, the Ocean Trader, was just spotted near our base in Diego Garcia. The last time it came out to play, the Maduro raid. Yep. The ship hasn't even been photographed in 3 years. These things come packed with super stallions, ospreys, night stalkers, with a .50 caliber machine gun station on the upper deck and a floating command center. This could mean something's about to go down. And Southcom's been working on some new next-gen drone tech, toys for the boys. So who knows what happens? The president, though, is making sure we have a strong economy to cushion the war. Jobs report just came in. Home run.
With the big jobs report for April, 65,000 expected.
It's not bad,
Nay. We are much stronger, 115,000, 115. And last month, upward revision.
And all the libs, dude, all the libs can say is, oh, we're not doing good. We're not doing good. Hell no. We're doing fabulous, bro. We're doing freaking fabulous. Better than you realize. There's that for you.
From 178 to 185. These are good numbers.
Foreign ships are lining up in the Gulf of America to buy American crude.
We have tremendous amounts of oil. We are not suffering oil. And again, ships are coming all the way where they used to go to Hormuz. They're coming all the way up. And we have hundreds of ships coming up to Texas, coming up to Louisiana and coming to Alaska, filling up, and they're going back and making a lot of money.
The money we spent on the war, we're already even. We just sold over $26 billion of weapons to the Arabs. Gas prices are still too high, no doubt about it, but that's thanks to the Iranians. But the president's staying optimistic.
Why focus on all these projects right now?
You know why? Because I want to keep our country beautiful and safe. That's such a stupid question you ask. We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and you say, why are you fixing it up? Because you can understand dirt maybe better than I can, but I don't allow it. This is one of the worst reporters. She's with ABC Fake News, and she's a horror.
Yep.
She's saying, why would you bother fixing?
Dude, Trump is throwing shade at ABC News, and he should, dude. ABC News has been terrible, bro. He should absolutely be throwing shade at them, bro. Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. Double tap the screen to like the stream if you guys think that ABC deserves all the shade that's thrown at them from Trump. Dude, Trump's totally on the right, dude. Dude, we're just done, dude. People are done with fake news. We're done with the mainstream media. We're done with it all. We want a little bit of a change. We're tired of being told what to think. We're tired of being lied to. I think it's another thing that really pisses people off is just being lied to so much. I'm tired of it, and whatevs, dude.
Fixing this up. Why would I bother taking 11 or 12 truckloads of filth out of the water in front of the Lincoln Monument?
POTUS wants to make sure he gets a good deal. And
POTUS, my GOATUS, the greatest of all time. Dude, Trump's the GOAT, dude. Trump is the greatest of all time, and I'll tell you why. Because, one, he doesn't take any crap from liberals. That's another thing. I love that about him. He doesn't take any crap from the liberals at all. Like, in any way, shape, or form. No, Jimmy Kimmel's not even funny, dude. He's just not funny anymore. Kimmel's cringy at best, dude. Honestly, even before Trump became president, I thought Jimmy Kimmel was on the way down anyway. Yeah. I don't know, dude. He's still got spurts of being funny. There's a little funny man in there still. But I'm just not feeling it, not seeing it. I don't think he's too entwined into politics. He's too entwined into kissing Biden's ass, And that's the problem, allegedly.
And Americans want to win. Most of the country says 47 shouldn't give in to the Iranians. Trump knows that to deliver victory, we're going to have to stomach some high gas prices. But he needs to show the Iranians.
Yeah, and it's fine. I'm okay with paying a little bit in gas for a bit. As long as it means that Iran is no longer powerful enough to cause any more destruction. That's the thing. So, that's my theory behind it. I love what Trump is doing, bro.
Regime that they don't have the leverage that they think they do. There's been a lot of false reporting about the war. That's designed to hurt the president politically, but it also helps the Iranians militarily. And the Iranians need all the help they can get. The commander-in-chief remains committed to removing all of the enriched uranium, and it appears he's clear-eyed about what to expect from diplomacy.
Are you optimistic about Iranian response to your proposal?
Well, we'll see what happens. Look, they have no military. They have not a lot left. We'll see what happens.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest.
Yeah, I think that Trump's the man, clearly, and we'll see what happens. Well, let's see. You guys are going to have to give me a few more moments. Oh, also, there's something I got to check. I think. What? Fine, we'll just trim out the segment then. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to figure something out on my end. So it took a little bit of a second, overall. But I'm back. I'm back. Because I'm back. And everybody thinks I'm whack. Hell yeah. I don't think we've watched this.
We should know
yet.
something today. I mean, we're expecting a response from them. We'll see what the response entails. The hope is it's something that it can put us into a serious process of negotiation. Obviously, we've seen the reporting overnight that Iran has established or trying to establish some agency that's going to control traffic in the Straits. That would be very problematic. That would actually be unacceptable. But we're expecting a response from them today at some point. We have not received that yet, as in the last hour. But perhaps
hopefully
that will
we
come.
get a response.
President Trump also issued this warning to Iran if they don't sign a peace deal.
The talks are going very well, but they have to understand if it doesn't get signed, they're going to have a lot of pain.
How close would you say that you are to a deal right now with Iran?
Could happen any day. Could, and it might not happen, but it could happen any day. I believe they want the deal more than I do.
You know, Guy, everything that is coming from the White House these days, and it's important, I think, a note, is expressed that there could be an Iran deal, and then there's always this kind of tepid note at the end, if they step up to the table, if they follow through.
Well, they're not gonna. And if they do, it's a miracle. If Iran follows through, it's a bloody miracle. I love you too, Harrow. No Diddy. Got you. I love it. But no, look. Tony Tone says Abby said hey and sorry she missed your stream Thursday and Friday. It's okay. Dude, it's all right. It's all good. It's okay to miss a stream or two. It's okay to miss a whole month. It's never a big deal. You kidding me? You guys, everybody has a life they got to lead, man. Everybody's got a life they got to lead. So I just want to encourage everybody to lead their lives the way they got it. I don't look. I just do this show for entertainment. I don't expect people to watch it 24/7 unless they really enjoy it. And if they want to watch it 24/7, that's totally their call. But yeah, no, never feel bad. Let Abby know to never feel bad about that. She can miss as many shows as she needs to. Just remember, I do this show because I'm a crazy bastard. No, I enjoy reacting to political content. I enjoy talking about the stock market periodically on these. I would prefer to talk about the stock market primarily, but unfortunately, slop like this sells. That's all right, though.
You get the sense that there is this realization that we are not dealing with a rational actor here, and we all wait to see if this is, in fact, the moment you get the deal. But I think the tepid tone is merited.
Yeah, and we've never been dealing with a rational actor in the Iranian regime. And despite the decapitation of the top of the regime, next man up level has been seemingly equally intractable and deranged. I mean,
Oh, you guys, don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream one more time. Don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream. We're trying to get to 60 likes in 30 minutes. Once again, we're trying to get to 60 likes in 30 minutes. So tap the like button and let's keep going.
It's sort of confusing, I think, for a lot of Americans to see not just the blockade continuing, but earlier the United States, this was yesterday, quote, responded with self-defense strikes against Iranian targets after they attacked our ships. So technically they're calling this the ceasefire still underway, but it doesn't really feel that way. And unless this regime out of nowhere decides, okay, we will agree to all of these crucial demands from the United States, I would not be surprised if we see a reignition of Operation Epic Fury, at least on some level here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. And Harris, one thing that's increasingly clear, and really from the very beginning, is Iran, I guess, is not interested in self-preservation because they've stared down the greatest hegemonic power in the world, the United States, and yet they're still trying to break through a blockade after they've lost their Ayatollah, their Navy, so on and so forth.
What's brilliant about what you just said, though, no, they don't have any kind of fear around losing all of their people because it's not about them. It's about the IRGC. It's about the military. It's about this sort of dedication, sick obsession, if you will, to rule just completely through radical Islam. I mean, and if you're Islam in that country, if you're Muslim in that country, and there are many other religions in that country of Iran, beautiful nation of 93 million people.
93 mil? I didn't realize there was that many living in Iran. 93 million, huh? That's insane.
That isn't you necessarily, but there are about 1 million or so of those people who are there to kind of keep that propped up too, in addition to the IRGC, which is why it makes it so complicated. I like everybody else, I wonder, who the heck are we dealing with? Like, who's actually at the table? Are they the same group every time we go? Is it who Vice President J.D. Vance saw? Was that a different group than we're dealing with now? It's all over the road, but it's very dangerous right now because we are trying to hold a position of defense, only hit them. Our rule of engagement is only hit them when they hit us. But their neighbors are getting hit. And the Abraham Accords, that's what I'm really worried about now. Our friends in that region that they are hitting now. And the UAE and Saudi Arabia and those neighbors having to say just a couple of days ago, look, we're going to choke off the airspace to you, to the United States, because what they are doing is actually a violation of the ceasefire to them. Then the president smooths that out. There's only so much of that capital that we're going to have. We need them. And
here's the thing. I think that we just need to. The solution here is where is the snake's head located? Well, the snake's head is located in the current Iranian government regime, right? So the Iranian government is the problem. Let's go after the Iranian government, all hands on deck. Sounds reasonable to me. Wouldn't you say? Well, here's the thing: the Iranian population cannot overthrow a government that's killing anybody who's dissenting. Right? So here's the thing: the reason these people are protesting the Iranian regime is because the Iranian regime has been terrible to Iran. They've been executing their protesters behind the scenes. And honestly, the crimes that the Iranian regime have committed are too great to ignore. They're just too great to ignore. And that's a problem. That is a problem.
General King, Lieutenant General Kellogg, they're right. Carg Island, 90% of their income. You take that, you choke everything off economically, and then perhaps also give the people a better chance for a revolution. Mind you, they don't have any weapons, but they will outnumber everybody on the ground. And so, how long does that take? I don't know. I think you have to do what Guy said. You got to step in now. Why wait?
Get it.
You know what they're going to do.
I think that's an important point you make, too, about the UAE. I mean, it was the attempt to go through the blockade, Emily. And then with the UAE, you saw the 15 ballistic and cruise missiles at one of the UAE's ports. And that's been one of the standout features from the very beginning. You had many of the Gulf states standing down and not saying, we're with the U.S. In fact, we don't condone this. And yet Iran attacks them.
Yeah, and also coinciding with their independent decision to leave OPEC, right? So there's a restructuring happened where every nation state is essentially protecting themselves, persevering, while also strengthening the alliances with us, to your point. Yeah. Keep in mind, too, there's a big clock in the sky for Iran, not for proverbial sense in sort of the obvious realm, but also for the oil storage. And so they are abutting a serious parameter here that they only have so much time for. We can go all day. We can go all week, we can go all year, and then some. And I think this entire time we've seen the braid between the military might of the United States, the leverage diplomatically in negotiations.
I mean, is it possible that Iran is just... I think Iran knows just how screwed they are. They just want to save face, and they want to look tough. But does Iran actually... So either Iran knows how weak they are, and they're just trying to save face... I think they're just they have too much pride. They're too afraid of being humiliated. Well, guess what? You're already humiliated. Your entire navy was sank. So, like, everything else, I mean, you guys are already humiliated on the world stage, Iran. You guys have done terrible things. You're already seen as the villain. You're not just seen as the villain. You are the villain, Iran. And I'm talking about the Iranian government specifically and the Iranian military. The crimes that they have committed against their own people is disgusting and disturbing. Yeah, I don't listen to woke Karens for my information. Yeah, talking to Iranians is a good thing. Figuring out what Iranian Americans are thinking, because even a lot of them say that the Iranian regime is terrible. It's a dictatorship. So it's funny, the Democrats constantly say no kings, no kings, no kings, but Trump has taken out Maduro, and he's basically taken out the majority of the Iranian regime. These are basically kings, dictators by all metrics.
The pressure from the Gulf Arab states there. Obviously the reaction from NATO, but I think that that trifecta approach, that's the pressure that they need. We've seen before what happens when we lift sanctions. There's no obedience here. There's no compliance. It's just a spinning out. So here, that's why I think we see the dance and the tango of using those two parameters. But I think the up-to-the-minute media coverage, frankly, does no one any favors. I think it feeds into the exhaustion of this. So it would do well to sort of take a beat and let it play out, because by the minute we're seeing them in their newly resurged weapons, where are those from, sort of acting out again. So I think while this dance is happening, it may look sort of ugly at times, but thank God for our allies and for the patience that the United States has in terms of that flexibility that Iran doesn't.
Yeah, and Rosanna, President Trump has said every step of the way, if we don't get this signed, they're going to have a lot of pain. But the question I have is...
Oh, I see Larson Christopher's in the house. Hold on. Where's Larson at? I thought Wait, did I see Larson? Hold on. Yeah, Iran no longer has a navy, exactly. Precisely.
As if Iran even cares about that pain. I was talking to former special forces individual yesterday, great hero of our country, and he said to me, look, they're willing to sacrifice their own people. That's who we're dealing with now. We've seen this time and time again. They don't care, and there is a question about whether they care about their own livelihood as well.
So, Kaylee, you're absolutely right. Yes. I have a friend who has family in Iran, and while they're very happy the president took this action, they're worried about their family in Iran, whether they're going to find the food to eat, whether they're going to survive these military attacks. They're very concerned. And Americans are concerned, too, because we don't want to see this escalate any further. This war has been, 2 months and a little, in a few days. And we're worried. We're worried because one minute the president says we got a deal. The next minute he says we got a deal in a day or so. And then he says, maybe we don't have a deal. So I'm with you, Emily, on maybe we don't need to know every detail right now. Just let us know that you're there. Your people are talking, that a deal is still possible. Because when we go to the supermarket, we see.
Yeah, I mean, spot on. I see where she's coming from, too. I agree with Emily Campagno a little bit more, but I see where this lady's coming from.
We're paying for it here. We're paying for it in eggs and bread. Everything's going up. You go to the pump, and now is the time people start traveling in their cars. The gas prices are up every single day. We want to know that there's an end in sight and that we're going to be victorious.
The one thing I would say is that military and these families in the United States appreciate the minute by minute because we see this differently. And I do think that, back in the day, previous wars, like World War II especially, you had women in factories helping to make things with their pantyhose, and everybody was all in. We haven't really seen that sort of push and support for military life much since then. We've been at war in many places and haven't had what we would call true victories. We've had a lot of mission creep. So when we see this minute by minute and transparency, yes, it is wearing on the soul. But those millions of people whose loved ones are fighting so far away know that we are with them. And so I do see it a little bit differently. I can take the drip because I want them to come home.
Did you guys see that the New Jersey ferry system, which goes between New Jersey and New York, they just raised their prices sort of considerably. And they said that in the uncertain times of war, and it was interesting to me because we all know that when prices get raised, they never go back. And this is on the heels of, and this is a separate point than what you're making, this is on the heels of the World Cup coming. So everyone's raising their prices for transportation too. And I wondered as I read the alert, sort of, how much it was politically tainted and how much people are reading that and then being like, taking that negatively in how it was phrased in terms of the impact on the daily life and not listening to the president saying this is temporary. And it still is nowhere near what it was under the prior administrations. But yet there's.
Yeah, and this is temporary. Here's the thing. The pain that is experienced is going to be temporary. It's not permanent. Yeah. So hopefully people realize that, but one moment. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. Back. We are back. Let's keep going.
There's a reflection and a reaction in this structural way that's giving people this pause.
Yeah, gas was $5 a gallon at the height of Joe Biden's presidency, and he wasn't waging a war to keep the world free of nuclear weapons, a problem we all acknowledge for 47 years until now because it's political and the left is losing their mind.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
You think of just little things.
Oh, we got Asmund Gould reacting to Spencer Pratt. I'm excited.
This guy is great. Watch this.
Robin acts like
This is hot, dude. This is hot. Oh my God.
like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robbins' plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do.
It's so fucking true. He's so freaking right. It's insane. L.A. is cooked. L.A. is so cooked. Dude, yeah, Spencer Pratt is the man. I'm a huge fan of this guy. Like, I'm a fanboy. Like, if he ran for the mayor of, I don't know, Coos County, or if he ran for the mayor of, like, Portland or something like that, I would, I mean, I don't think I can vote in that one because it's a different city than where I live, but whatever. Oh, man, if he ran for Portland mayor, that'd be amazing.
Not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to.
Yeah. How about this? Let's get these people the treatment that they need so they could stop freaking taking drugs and ruining people's lives, not only their own, but everybody else's. Because honestly, a drug user doesn't just ruin their own life. They ruin everybody else's around them. That's the thing that people don't realize. A drug user, this is why I'm firmly about getting these people treatment. They are still human beings, yes, but they got to get treatment at some point. And really, and here's the problem. You need to give them an incentive to go into treatment. Orwell, the resident, says, what the hell is super meth? I think it's like an even crazier version. So I don't know. I don't even know the basics of it. But I trust that this guy knows what he's talking about more than Mayor Bass and all those other people. Basically, the left is unable to admit that there's a problem. And trust me, I've never been to LA before, but I've known a lot of people who have been there. They're like, it is a total S show down there. S show, bro.
House for 70, what did you say? 3,000 people for $400 million? This is absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
So, Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I want to just say to everybody who's watching today, you're going to watch today as Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt attack me because they want to run against each other in the general election. Each of them thinks that running against each other is what's going to help them win. And they don't want to run against me because my ideas, which are based on
Based on garbage? Oh.
Results in my district, which are based on real data, a real analysis of the system, and a focus on accountability and using every dollar as effectively as possible.
You do realize that there's something called the eye test, too, and we're seeing in L.A. a real drug problem. There is a true drug problem. There's a homeless crisis. There's a fentanyl crisis. There's all sorts of crises, all right? Just freaking admit it. This is the problem, is these politicians are unwilling to admit the problem that's at hand. They are unable and unwilling to just be like, hey, there's a problem. Let's fix it. But no, they don't want to. They want to bury it under the rug like they typically do. And it's pissing a lot of people off, dude. It is pissing a lot of people off. And Orwell, the resident, says it's like Portland or Seattle. There are some spots, but it's mostly nice as hell. No, I doubt that. The whole West Coast is insane, dude. I live on the West Coast, and I've seen some of these cities. I've been to Portland, man. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of drug problems, but there's not as many people that have, like, if you were to do a ratio versus, for instance, in a smaller town, the types of drugs that people are using are not as extreme as some of the drugs that are in the bigger cities. Yeah. Anyway, just admit that, you guys cannot admit that there's a huge drug problem in these cities. And I think the reason you can't admit it is because they're all blue-run cities. Is the reason you can't admit it. And I'll admit that there's drug problems in my county. Coos County has a drug problem for sure, and it's a red state. It's a red county. I'm willing to admit when a place has a drug problem. Coos County definitely does. And it's not as bad, though, as like Portland. Portland's weird.
Which we have done in my district. I want to take this citywide. This is why this is happening today.
Councilmember Rahman, we're out of time. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to respond to this.
I would
Mr.
love
Pratt,
to
I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Mayor Bass.
First off, Mayor Bass and I are definitely not working together. I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down. I am not working with Mayor Bass. Second off, if I wanted to run against anybody, it would be the council member who is terrible. Mayor Bass has at least been a mayor for almost 4 years and has, as she talked about earlier, all the unions endorse Mayor Bass. You think it's easier to run against the incumbent mayor with all the unions or a random city council member who's been a failure for 6 years? I would much rather run
Dude, he is throwing shade, and I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it, dude. Throw that frickin' shade, brony. Throw it. I love it, man. I am loving it, dude. I love it wholeheartedly.
Against Councilwoman Rahman. Thank you very much. Very much, Mr. Pratt. So,
Oh my God! Call that bitch a loser.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Straight to her
No,
face.
I like this. This is good. And let him cook. No, this guy's great. Yeah, I've seen a couple other videos of him, and he's really funny. Let me see if I can pull any more of these. Oh yeah, here's one more.
God, the more I see of Spencer Pratt, the more I'm like, oh boy, whew. This guy's the man, dude. I love this guy. Spencer Pratt's my hero, dude. Orwell says, I'd bet per capita my area has a worse meth issue. Maybe not. No. Yeah, no, and here's the thing. We just need to, first off, I'm glad that Trump shut down the border. Look, Trump is doing everything he can to prevent fentanyl from crossing our borders. Cut off the supply, get these people treatment, and then we'll have it all behind us. There's got to come a point, man. There's got to come a point. If the LA mayor pretended to care about people, like really pretend, if the LA mayor actually did care, because I think pretending to care is just as bad because it's disingenuous. She would at least get these people, or try to get these people in drug rehab facilities. You know, if you're caught with fentanyl, jail's not an option. You need to go to a rehab facility. They'll pay. The city will pay for it. That's fine. Like, I, as a taxpayer, am totally fine with paying that, especially if I knew that my city was having a meth or fentanyl epidemic. I would want people to go to rehab for it.
Hey, Los Angeles, are you aware that socialists in LA city government are stealing your money?
We just finished doing a tour of the site with the Bureau of Engineering, the Bureau of Contract Administration, and our contractors to check out the installation of the 16 new modular homes that will include 64 interim housing beds. Northeast New Beginnings is only possible because my team and I worked to get a grant from the state, $16 million to build 64 new beds in Council District 1 of interim housing.
Wait, $16 million for... Hold on. $16 million for 64 beds? What?
I'm sorry, what? $16 million for 64 beds?
$16 million.
Oh, yeah. It's levels of theft that even blows my mind. And Spencer Pratt's calling this shit out, dude. I love it. I'm all for it, dude. I'm all about it. I'm all about you, Spencer Pratt. I love you, bro. I'm a Spencer Pratt fan at this point, dude. I love what this guy's saying. I love what this guy's doing. Total legend. We all know he's right. We all know he's correct on this. And for those of you who just can't admit it, man, I don't know. It's blowing my mind. Oh, yeah. Pratt is a voice of reason among a massive amount of crazy people. Without a doubt, dude. Without a freaking doubt, bro. I love Spencer Pratt. I think he's fabulous. If I was living in L.A., he would have my vote in a second. It's just crazy that people still vote for Democrats. It is wild. And I think that there's a silent resentment towards the Democrat Party for being so bad and for recklessly just basically it feels like laundering. It feels like money laundering, man. It's crazy.
And doling it out to their friends, and they rub it in your face too. Jokes about covering up the graffiti with a nice painting.
And obviously we're gonna get rid of the graffiti and replace it with the nice paint jobs.
Yeah.
Make sure it's welcoming for everybody.
Meanwhile, fire victims in the Palisades are getting their burned out lots vandalized by commie street animals. All
the rid.
of your neighborhoods are riddled with tagging and garbage.
Uh-huh.
No help for you, but we're going to spend $16 million
Dude, this
for
guy.
64 homeless people to not have to
She's
endure
so
the
fucking
hardship
fat, yeah.
of seeing a bit of graffiti outside their $250,000 bed.
Mm-hmm.
64 people. There are 64,000 homeless people in Los
How
Angeles.
much money is that?
This psycho-socialist is bragging about spending $16 million of your money to cater to 0.01% of the homeless problem.
$16 million.
You think these socialists have any interest in solving this?
Fuck
Of
no,
course
they're
not.
making money.
Who's vetting who goes into these housing units? Are they drug testing? Are these just going to turn into $250,000 air-conditioned fentanyl tents? Why not just give them the money? I'll tell you why. Because these corrupt DSA politicians can't
Oh
steal
my
it
God.
if they just give it as direct aid. Just like the fire aid
Dude,
scam.
he just
They'll
keeps
never
going.
give an individual direct financial assistance. It always has.
Dude, the man's dropping bars, dude. Spencer Pratt is dropping bars, bro. Dropping frickin' bars, brony. Get it, dude. Larson Christopher says Adam Carolla released a video recently showing one Malibu home foundation, 300 concrete trucks, and just, oh, wow. Jeez.
Has to be laundered through one of Austin Miller's or Nikia Raman's NPOs so their friends can do God knows what with it.
Man.
It goes to these companies that make these $250,000 units. It's all a scam. And
Oh
notice,
my God.
This isn't just Angelinos that are being robbed. She's using state grants.
My team and I worked to get a grant from the state.
So pay attention, folks. Socialists in Los Angeles are everybody's problem.
Yep.
Goblins like Eunice are gobbling
Those
up
are a goblin.
And he's got a hungry hippo. Oh, this is brutal, dude. This is brutal. And it's deserved. Just because it's brutal doesn't mean it isn't deserved. Spencer Pratt is a legend. I love this guy. I wish I could vote for him. Obviously, I can't because I don't live in L.A., but my God. What a stud, dude. Dude, I am in love with Spencer Pratt. Holy crap, man. This guy's an absolute...
And then the clip goes to Hungry Hippos. Yes!
All your tax dollars, and they're
I agree. It's so fabulous that I can't even help it either.
coming for more.
Oh, I
this is
love
how
it.
socialism starts. Vague
This is
platitudes
great.
that feel nice and soften the language so the real problems never get addressed. It's the velvet glove for the
Ooh.
iron fist. These are just...
That's the problem with socialism. Things never get done. People are much lazier under collectivist concepts than they are otherwise. Individualism's a lot better than collectivism. Look, I think it's good to look, human beings, whether they like to admit it or not, need incentive to do nice things, right? You know, a doctor doesn't cure cancer or doesn't try to cure cancer because it's the right thing to do. Deep down, they know that if they can find the cure for cancer, they're going to get rich. So human beings need incentives. Why do you think there are so many cures for a lot of diseases out there? Take a guess. Well, you know why.
people experiencing homelessness.
People experiencing homelessness?
Why do they always talk like this? Why can't they just talk like a normal person?
Because they're not normal.
Socialists always lie.
Yep. It's because socialists are used to lying and saying nothing. Socialists, look, Spencer Pratt's the man. I cannot wait to, you know what? I think that there's probably enough Los Angeles residents who are hearing his messages, thinking to themselves, you know what? Screw the Democrats. We're voting for this guy. That's what I think is going to happen, man.
Always. We need to end this failed experiment and put a stop to this fraudulent waste of our tax dollars. If you live anywhere in California, you need to support my campaign for mayor of Los Angeles because this theft of your tax dollars will only continue. Go to mayorpratt.com and help me put an end to this scam.
Yeah.
$16 million.
Wow. Dude. Stud. Like I said, I wish I lived in LA. No, I don't wish I would. Actually, I don't wish anybody to live in LA. It's a very pretty place, except for when you have to go walk around, probably. Wow. Wow.
Holy shit, dude. This guy is locked in. This is impressive. Oh, my God. Yeah, he just let him know. There's one more of this, right? I think that, yeah, there's this too. Okay, all right. What should I vote for him? Yeah, what a good video.
Karen Basura is a communist. Now, when I was 19, 20, I was living in an apartment on Skid Row, getting my political science degree at USC. That's as LA as it gets, dude. But do you know what Karen Basura was doing at that age?
I don't know, dude, but I'm curious.
Guessed it, going to Cuba to support the communist revolution and Fidel Castro's oppressive regime.
Yep. That make of course she did. Of course she did. Would you expect anything less from a socialist? Nope.
What?
Man.
Karen Basura is a card-carrying member of the Communist Front Group, the Venceremos Brigade, an anti-American communist solidarity organization in which she actively worked for years to undermine the U.S. and
That's
prop
wild.
up the communist revolution.
Why
in
is
Cuba.
she even here?
Does this sound normal to you? Who in the
That's
heck spends their
ridiculous.
20s supporting a violent communist dictatorship
Bitch is out
in
of
a
her
foreign
mind.
country? What were you doing at 19 years old? Some reports have shown that Karen Basura's communist organization was actually involved in intelligence training ops on behalf of the Cuban regime.
Man.
And some of the members actually
That's, oh my God. With that history, could you say that she's treasonous for being a mayor? Is that technically treason in the United States? I'm just asking the questions. That's sketchy as fuck, bro.
bombed the U.S. Capitol in 1983.
And
There's
this
a
bitch is the
legitimate
mayor.
possibility that Karen Basura is a literal communist spy, which...
Wow. Of course, leave it up to L.A. to elect a alleged communist spy. That's their... Oh, you can't make this up, dude. I mean, you probably can, but you know, I mean, it's still, it's not outside the realm of belief. It is not outside the realm of belief, man. Insane. Freaking sane. So we got a TJ Maxx in town. I don't know much about it. I'm gonna look it up real quick. TJ Maxx, and what is it? I have no idea what TJ Maxx is. So TJ Maxx is a leading American off-price retailer offering brand name apparel, shoes, home decor, and beauty products at rates 20 to 60% below department store prices. As a flagship chain of the TJX companies, it operates over 1,000 stores in the U.S., specializing in a fast-changing treasure hunt inventory of high-quality merchandise. Nice. Got it. So it seems it's like it's a lot like Ross Dress for Less. So because I go to Ross for a lot of my clothing, but it'll be cool to check out TJ Maxx because we just had one open up in our local hometown, in my local hometown. So I'm very curious to see what that's all about. I might even walk down there a little later.
Actually might explain why such an experienced politician has been so effective at destroying America's greatest city in just a few short years. Well, now you know what her experience is.
Dude, this guy, if Spencer Pratt doesn't win in L.A., L.A.'s clearly too far gone. The people of L.A. are too far gone if they're not actually voting for this guy. This guy's a stud. Oh, my God. I love this guy, dude. This is the new guy I'm glazing, dude. I'm still glazing Trump and everything, but I'm glazing this guy too. I love this guy, dude. I love Trump. I love this guy. This guy's amazing. Holy crap, bro. I dig it.
Some of you may not remember, but she was actually the front runner to become Joe Biden's VP pick for 2020. But that went up in flames almost immediately once.
Whoa, she was almost she was almost the vice president pick for Joe Biden. Whoa. Like, holy crap, really? I did not know that. Who would have been would Karen Bass have done a better job than Kamala Harris as vice president though? I mean, they're both incompetent. I don't know. Why did that go up in flames? That's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Democrats love incompetent people. That's like their MO.
People dug up her commie past and saw her foreign sympathies in statements following Fidel Castro's death when she called it a great loss. She used to refer to Castro as Comandante en Jefe. And for those of you who don't habla español, that means commander-in-chief.
Come on, dude. Karen Bass doesn't care about America. Oh, my God. Fidel Castro was terrible. Awful. Dude, Karen Bass is terrible, dude. Why would anybody vote for this person? I don't understand. Like, I'm in a state of disbelief. I don't even know, bro. Yeah, Larson, I agree completely.
Now, I don't know about you, but the president
Why is she even in America? Just deport her. Just send her to Cuba.
of the United States
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she could be the president of Cuba.
is always my commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
But not Karen Basura. Her commander-in-chief is the communist dictator of Cuba. Right now, Cuba's in the news because the oppressed people who have suffered under the horrific communist regime are
Yep. And this is why communism fails all the time. Is because eventually you run out of rich people's money, everybody gets lazy, and there's no incentive to do anything. The problem is, I don't think modern Democrats are not very intelligent. They don't understand human nature. If they did, they would understand that human beings require incentives. There are no incentives under socialism and communism. Period. End of story. You know it. I know it. The American freaking people know it. Come on.
rising up to fight for freedom. You'll notice how much Latino immigrants and especially Cuban immigrants hate communism because they know
because they
firsthand
experience
how
it.
evil communism is. They have experienced the empty store shelves, the decrepit infrastructure, the choking censorship and surveillance, the secret police thugs, the death and destruction that Fidel Castro and other commie dictators ushered in. Communism is responsible for more.
He's just going, bro.
Dude, he's dropping. Dude. He's dropping the mic. Fucking mic drop, dude. This guy's got more bars than Eminem. All right? This guy's got more bars than Eminem, dude. Holy crap.
Oh my God.
Mass death in just the last century than anything else in the history of the world. Over 100 million people have been killed by communist regimes.
And this is never talked about. Communists never talk about this. This is an inconvenient truth about communism. Because what happens is under communist rule, first off, communists and socialists, I don't know what it is psychologically about them, but whenever they get an ounce of power, they go on what's called power trips, and then they start abusing that power. Seriously, I don't trust socialists or communists with power because I know they're going to do whatever they can to try to control everything I do, everything I think. 1984, great novel, by the way, warned us about this. Period. End of story.
Regimes
That's
in
it?
China, Cambodia, the Soviet Union, from forced famines, purges, gulags. Communism is an evil, anti-human ideology dressed up as some idealistic form of equity and fairness, and yet somehow it always ends up with millions of people dying in forced labor camps or starving to death. Communism is just a religion of malcontents. Where instead of worshiping a righteous God, they worship the state. And whatever the state says, goes. We don't learn enough about.
Dude, I love this, by the way. This is amazing. I could listen to Spencer Pratt talk about this for an hour in this type of voice. I could listen to this man go for a whole hour. I'm appreciating everything about it. I'm voting for dude. I don't live in LA, but man, I wish I could vote for him. I wish I could vote for this guy.
The evil scourge on our planet, and communism is genuinely evil. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It preys upon the malcontents of society to fuel the revolution, but America never fell victim to this.
The malcontents of society, and it's some stupid girl, some probably mentally ill girl with a massive nose ring. Yep.
Ideology. We didn't have enough malcontents to fuel the revolution in America. You had the ability to actually work your way into the American dream. You could buy a home, have your own slice of American soil, raise a family, speak freely, worship freely. But now, as that gets more and more out of reach for young Americans, and especially young Californians and Angelinos, there's...
You know, and one of the main reasons I don't even bother I don't even bother trying to own a home. It's because it is pointless at this time. I don't like to admit that. It's not a fun admission. But there's an element of truth there. There's no point. Homes are overly priced. It's not debt that's even worth getting into. To be honest, I'd rather live out of the back of my car. I don't want to, preferably, but that level of debt's just too stupid. It's too stupid. I can't justify that.
There's a growing population of malcontents, angry, jaded, cynical, and that is exactly the fertilizer that communists like Karen Basura use to seed the revolution. Notice how the riots are increasing, burning cars, smashing businesses, looting, stopping the freeway, attacking police officers. You all can see communism starting to take root because lifelong communists like Karen Basura have made life harder and harder here, and that is on purpose. Well, guess what, Karen? This ain't your Cuban commie kibbutz you're running. This is Los Angeles. This is America. I still believe in the American dream, and I'm not going to let you turn LA into your tribute to your Comandante and Jefe.
Yeah, baby. Dude, Spencer Pratt, dude. Oh my God, dude. I love it. Since we got a TJ Maxx, I wonder if they got a TJ Maxx app. I'm going to look that up. TJ Maxx rewards. Okay, cool. TJ Maxx actually does have an app. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'll just I'll create an account later for the TJ Maxx app. But I'm excited, man. It's nice to see that we have a TJ Maxx in our local area.
Fidel Castro, our Latino brothers and sisters have seen the evils of communism and they are done with it. So let me help you out, Karen. I'll take your job and you can go retire in Havana. We are going to restore the dream that Los Angeles used to be. Go to mayorpratt.com and donate. Support my campaign. And unlike the communists like Karen who want to take your money, I want to earn your money.
God.
And I will make it my life's mission to earn your support as mayor of Los Angeles.
Holy shit, man.
Dude, I am for it, dude. I am all on board with Spencer Pratt, dude. Holy freaking crap. Dude, if he becomes the mayor of LA, or if it's even close, even if he ends up losing, if it's close, the left is even more unpopular than I thought, because if the left becomes unpopular in LA, the left is cooked. Larson Christopher says he shops at TJ Maxx for tea and coffee, Duluth Trading for clothing. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I don't have a Duluth Trading, but I definitely, TJ Maxx, I'm definitely probably going to check it out. Yeah, actually, I think I probably will once I'm done with my walk. I'll probably end up just walking there ultimately, but crazy.
They shouldn't have let his house burn down.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's called resentment. And obviously Spencer Pratt resents Karen Bass, and I don't blame him. The left doesn't know how to run anything, and all they do, in my opinion, the left abuses power. That's my opinion. Straight up. That's what I believe.
All this could have been avoided. You just didn't, I don't know why they let that happen. That's a mistake. Y'all fucked up big time. His last match just destroyed her. I know. Yeah, what a fucking legend. Oh, there's, oh, here we go. Another one.
You're also a Republican in a deep blue city that hasn't voted for a Republican in decades. Do you think you have an actual shot, and how and why? I mean, it seems that the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully, all my supporters in Los Angeles are Democrats. Everyone I know, my family, are all Democrats. I grew up in LA. I went to Crossroads. Everybody that texted me last night, amazing, congratulations, are all Democrats. So what people are confused on, the Democrats all are behind me.
Yeah, because he's the only voice of sanity in LA left when it comes to the political realm. And honestly, I think he's the only person who could save Los Angeles. I think LA is so bloody cooked. LA is done. LA is just, they don't have much of a shot, man.
It's just the socialists and the communists that don't back me. But no, I'm confident I'm probably going to win.
Well, yeah, socialists and communists hate a guy who makes sense, because socialism and communism inherently don't make sense. Well, I mean, like on paper, I understand how it works, but in practice, it's ineffective. It's an ineffective political system that's as old as Bernie Sanders. So,
with 51% on June 2nd, because I don't do a political message. I don't do national politics. I don't do tribal politics. I don't talk about other states. I'm localized. I
just doesn't give a fuck. Like, yeah, doesn't want to have anything to do. What's going on in Texas? I don't know. Listen, it's fucked up here.
Just want to fix our streets, get the lights on.
You're also a Republican.
See, the country used to be made up of a mosaic of these guys that improved the country. Then they made things run the right way. That's it. It's also one went viral. Yeah, this is what it was. There was a whole like governing class of these guys, and it was a great time. It was. What is this? Let me open it up. Future president. Well, we'll see how he does.
I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles. This is a MAGA Republican's idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
Dude, Spencer, that was amazing. Hold on, we got a quick replay of that.
Idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really not.
Dude, yes. Dude, I'm on board with Spencer.
I'm not sure how to respond to that vision of Los Angeles.
I'm
this
so
is a
fucking on
MAGA
board.
Republican's idea.
Everything about this guy's amazing. I love this guy.
Idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is really
God.
Not really not.
E.T. is asking, would I do an interview with Billy one day? I don't want to talk to him. I have no desire to talk to that man. He burned his bridges with me. He treated me like shit. You know, I gave him more chances than he deserved. And, yeah, I just got tired of his shit and just said, fuck you. Blocked his ass. Don't talk to him anymore. I don't want to talk to him. I said everything I wanted to say to him. And then I'm done. He was dude, I already have too many toxic people in my life when it comes to my family. And, and that's tough. But but none of my family went after me the way he went after me. So yeah. Yeah, Billy doesn't deserve he doesn't deserve to talk to me. He doesn't deserve to talk to me. I don't want to hear anything he has to say. I think he's a punk-ass piece of shit.
Oh man, I love this. And play it again. Yeah, just that love this guy. Yeah, thank God. It's so ridiculous and stupid. Oh my God, it's fucking funny. He's one of the boys. Yeah, this is really hilarious. And he never wanted to do politics. He's on a rampage because of the fire. Yeah, I guess so. Should be a meme. Yeah, it's just so fucking funny for me to see this. I think the guy's great. I do. I think he's...
Yeah, fabulous, dude. I'd vote for him in a second. If that guy was running for like mayor of Coos County or whatever, or Coos Bay, I'd vote for him in a New York minute, in New York second. Or is it New York minute? I think it's New York minute. I'd vote for him in a New York minute, bro.
It's great. And I feel like, again, it's like, what is his opinion on fucking Israel-Palestine? What? This is the... No. You might be confused. So this is for Los Angeles. Yeah, wait a minute. I think that... Okay, so let me go back. This is for L.A. And, yeah, finally an anti-tanky politician. I know, man's motivated by a personal vendetta. There is nothing... Like, people don't understand how strong a motivation it can be to just absolutely, totally fuck over somebody that you don't like. That's it.
We're also
AOC
watching
slammed for
this
claims on
protest
billionaires.
breaking out in Tennessee over another redistricting battle as the state legislature there approved a new map eliminating the state's sole Democratic district. Fox News contributors Ben Domenech and Mary Catherine Ham join me now to talk about all of this. This is the battle of 2026, the battle royale, you could call it. Ben, I'll come to you first because this Virginia decision is a major blow for Democrats. They spend a ton of money on this.
It's a stunning result, and
yeah, dude, I love it, bro. I love it. Screw the Dems, bro.
I mean, the quotes that were running in Axios from Democrat staffers yesterday are not suitable for our air. So,
a lot of curse words?
Yes, a lot of people were needing to drown their sorrows in Washington last night, and that's because national Democrats really weighed in on this in a huge way. They spent, almost $70 million. It actually could be more than that when you actually get the final statistics to come out at the end with this result, which again was very narrow. It was a 4-3 decision. But on the facts, there were always these questions. There had been recommendations from former Attorney General Jason Miyares, who is, you just saw on air, former Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, that this process was one that sought to subvert the whole requirements of the Virginia Constitution. It turned out the Supreme Court agreed with them after all of this money spent. They effectively lit a massive amount of money on fire in the midterms to achieve nothing.
MK, you called it. I mean, you were warning people on Twitter that this doesn't seem legal.
Well, I was by no means sure of what the court would do, but I didn't think they should be so sure that they were in the clear here. And they say they're exploring every legal pathway now. They should have explored legal pathways before it, and before they did it illegally. And one thing I want to clear up, too, because a lot of people are complaining, why did the Supreme Court of Virginia decide after the vote? Well, it takes 2 minutes of listening to the oral arguments to hear Democratic lawyers say, we're so glad that you let the vote go through. And now that the vote has gone through, they thought that they were going to get sort of extra credit for that. And the Virginia Supreme Court was like, you asked us to wait, and now we will weigh on these issues.
I just want to put up on the screen, this is what we found as far as how much Democrats spent on all of this redistricting efforts in Virginia. $53 million. There's numbers out there upwards of higher than that, maybe even closer to $100 million. This is what we found, at least from the Virginias for fair election spending. I do want to ask you, Ben, very quickly about what's happening in Tennessee. Republicans changing that state's maps. A lot of protests broke out. I wonder, though, if they're also risking a decision like this.
Well, I think that they could run into a similar situation here, especially because, look, one of the things that we've seen in terms of these redistricting map playouts, in terms of the way that they've been proceeding across the country, is that this is just a basic partisan thing. I know people hate gerrymandering, but it's always going to be with us. And it's going to be something where people are trying to get a leg up on each other. Democrats this cycle thought that they should lean into it because it would give them an advantage going into the midterms.
I love it because Democrats complain when Republicans do it. Redistricting. Well, yeah, this is like it's never ending. But every side's going to complain when the other side does it. But of course, it's rules for thee, not for me. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. There's always a double standard of some kind. 24/7.
A lot of them right now, though, are looking at this scenario, especially combined with the Supreme Court's own decision regarding the VRA, and saying, did we make a mistake? Did we make a miscalculation here? And are we now going to have to effectively run the table with all of our swing districts in order to take back the House, which is an astonishing place to be given the historical trends?
Okay.
I would say, yeah, each state has their own rules, and each state will face some legal challenges. Florida has a similar situation where there are rules. But I would say my money's on Ron DeSantis getting the legal parts right versus Louise Lucas every day.
Maybe just thinking this through a little bit more methodically here. This is the president on Truth Social just reacting, saying it was a huge win for the Republican Party and America in Virginia. The Virginia Supreme Court has struck down the Democrats' horrible gerrymander, Make America Great Again. I want to ask you about someone who's been becoming a big voice in the Democratic Party, and that, of course, is AOC, a progressive voice. She's a prolific fundraiser.
That's Alex Stein's girl.
But she doesn't like people who make a ton of money. And this is what she recently said. It raised a lot of eyebrows. Watch.
You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you start a business from scratch and that business is extremely successful and you hire a bunch of people, yeah. If you end up with $1 billion worth of shares of your own company and you decide to sell that company, that sounds pretty well earned to me. So, dude, AOC, this is my problem with socialists, is they have zero understanding of economics and they have no self-awareness. This is my problem.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
By the way, there are plenty of ways to earn money. You could do it passively. An investment is a form of earning money. It's just the problem is AOC doesn't understand economics. That's her problem. If she did, she would. First off, my favorite quote of all time is this: if socialists actually understood capitalism, they wouldn't be socialists. Or if they actually understood how economics worked, they wouldn't be socialists. It was something like that, along those lines.
You can get market power, you can break rules, you can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws. Yep. You can pay people.
They just assume that everybody who became a billionaire did it the wrong way. And that's a bad assumption. All right.
less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
Let me read to you what the Washington Post
AOC is the most ridiculous person ever.
editorial board wrote here. This is an op-ed.
It's
to
crazy.
say that it's impossible to legitimately earn $1 billion is to put an arbitrary limit on human potential. And presuming that anyone who becomes too successful must be cheating shows
That is crazy.
a lack of imagination as to what humans are capable of accomplishing in a free society.
Exactly. If you put a cap on wealth, you're basically a communist country. Anytime you put a cap on an individual's wealth, you're living in a communist country. And also, by the way, the fact that we tax people when they make more money, that's communist, in my opinion.
Society. Ben, what is going on with this party? I mean, every week we talk about something else they're doing where it clearly shows they're going way to the left here.
Have you seen the old pictures of Elon Musk and of Jeff Bezos when they were starting with their ideas?
In their garages?
In their garages. Selling books on the internet. What a ridiculous thing to come up with, you know, and now he owns the Washington Post. So look, I think this is absurd, but I do find it interesting that AOC is leaning into this so much at a particular moment when the billionaire class is lining up behind leftist priorities over and over and over again. The Soroses in particular played a significant role when it came to the Virginia, redistricting fight. They've played a significant role across the country in giving money to all these prosecutors who share the ideology that AOC has. I look forward to the idea that one of the tenets of the AOC adjacent agenda is that they're going to be rejecting any kind of support for their agenda from billionaires.
But the progressives are winning. I mean, they're winning primaries, they're on the ballots, they're trying to get rid of these moderates that have been around forever in this party.
Well, it has energy in that area of the party, and I don't think we should underestimate if they have a good messenger who is lefty populist, that can resonate with people. But I would ask her also, can Rihanna be a billionaire?
I don't think the left is as popular as they think they are. The polls may suggest that the left have some popularity right now, but to be honest, not a lot of people take the polls. Not a lot of people take the polls. It's true.
Billionaire who earned her money, or Kylie,
great
or
question.
Beyonce?
We should have asked that question at the Met Gala.
Might have a different answer. And every person who is a socialist doesn't understand that you can create new money, right? They're always.
And here's another thing too. Socialists don't understand the concept of compound interest either. Like they don't understand the concept of investing because I just don't think they don't mentally have the ability to understand that. Most left-wing people are very poor when it comes to finance. And the thing is, it manifests into jealousy because of their ineptitude. It's not hard to understand that assets are the real key, not cash. Save your assets, not your cash. Simple rules to live by. It's not difficult. Not difficult at all.
Always assuming it's coming from someone else, but in fact, she's probably ordered stuff from Jeff Bezos like in the last 2 weeks because he created a service that is helpful to people.
I do find it.
Yeah, and if you've ever used Amazon, by the way, and you're complaining about Jeff Bezos, you're an idiot. You're just a dumbass. You're stupid. If you complain about capitalism and you're using an iPhone, you're a moron. You're just a moron.
Interesting. I remember when we were still waiting for this autopsy report to come out from.
Yeah, and hey, Bob, what's going on, dude? I haven't seen you in a while, man. So BPD Bob says polls are manipulative. It's wildly easy to skew a poll in your own favor, but a reliable measurement, not a reliable measurement, is what he's saying. So, yeah, the problem with polls is, first off, I don't trust polls. I don't think anybody should because remember when all the polls were saying, oh, Kamala's going to win. No, she is not. She did not. She could not. Because America was done. America didn't want Joe Biden politics anymore. They're like, we don't want Democrat politics. We don't want, honestly, because the Democrats are the party of socialism and incompetence like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That is what I believe. Through and through. But yeah, kind of wild, man. Kind of wild.
From the Democrats. And I
So this will be the last video that we react to for the day, and then I'm going to go for a walk because I need to stretch my legs and shit.
don't think it still has. Would it be nice to go back and just take a look at what went wrong in 2024 and try not to repeat the mistakes of the past, which they feel like they are repeating?
Well, it does, but I also would point out that one of the reasons that those progressives are having success, particularly people like Graham Plattner in Maine, people who are adjacent to AOC and so many other areas, it's because of the fact that the Democratic coalition is now rejecting the top-down elite leadership that decided to essentially anoint Kamala Harris as the only option in 2024.
That was insane. The fact that they just basically said, oh, we're not even going to do a primary. Kamala Harris, you're our main candidate.
Someone who had to be the nominee just by dint of her position, not allowing for any competition or anything of the like, that could have either made her a better candidate or chosen a better candidate. And now I think because of that, they've lost all their authority to dictate anything. And these ascendant, younger progressives, they feel like the wind is at their back and that a plurality, if not even a majority of their party is with them.
MK, you're always right about everything.
Obviously.
So how do you think 2026 is going to go, the midterms?
Look, I think it's very challenging for Republicans. It's not as challenging as it could be, and perhaps because of redistricting will be less challenging, but it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But I say that Democrats, again, and they're the swinging left, they have to deal with the fact that they might not be infallible, and that's a problem that they're having. You need to see the autopsy report to figure out how you're fallible to change your message.
Everybody follow the oracles, MK and Ben, on X, and I will too, and to see what you guys are tweeting in the next couple of weeks. Great to have you on. Great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Be sure to.
That was a pretty cool clip. I like it. That was decent, But hey, I want to say this, though. If you guys live in L.A., I hope you guys vote for Spencer Pratt. That guy sounds like a total stud, by the way. We're tired of leftist politics at the end of the day. I think a lot of people are. And it's just kind of like, it's gotten to a boiling point for a lot of people. They're just done. I can't say I blame anybody for wanting to be done. Yeah. It's true. But for the time being, I'm gonna go for that walk. I'm gonna pop my headphones on, my cool wireless headphones, which honestly they've been very reliable. I bought these like 2 or 3, or I think 3 or 4 years ago already. And these headphones that I have are just incredible. They've been so functional and so beautiful. So. Oh, have a good one, Annie. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's anything else I want to react to before I head out. What the hell? Let's see. Okay, so hold on. Let's just take a quick peek at this real fast.
President Trump last night awaiting Iran's response on a proposed peace deal.
Have you heard from Iran? Giving a letter supposedly tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
Do you think they're slow rolling it? Do you think they're intentionally slow rolling the process? Mr. Pratt.
We'll find out soon enough.
The agreement reportedly requires Iran to scale back its nuclear program and reopen shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump also says the ceasefire is holding.
Well, the question is, will they actually pull that off? Will they try? I don't know. I really don't. It's tough to say. It is very tough to say.
After American forces struck 2 Iranian-flagged tankers trying to breach the U.S. blockade. Let's bring in Jack Carr, former Navy SEAL, author of The Fourth Option. Jack, we talked to you on remote, as we call it. You're here in person.
I'm here in person, and I'm out of uniform. Usually I'm in my flannel
Okay, this should be the last video we react to, but it's only like 4 minutes.
and hat, but I figured coming into studio, this is a big deal to be in New York, and thank you for having me on, so I churched it up a bit.
I love it. My husband would be kicking himself. You are literally his favorite author.
Oh,
so
nice.
Great to have you. Iran, where are we now? Because, we're in this crucial spot. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but what do you think is the best possible outcome as we stare down potential resumption in the military campaign or some sort of deal?
It's so hard because there's so many second and third order effects, unintended consequences, of course, that follow on with any sort of military action. But the Iranians are really the masters of the stall, masters of the delay, and they're proving that again and again and again, even with all this pressure from the Trump administration. So we're in this phase right now where I think the messaging from the White House needs a little work because we were promised a short war at the outset, and we do.
Yeah, and it should be a short war. I mean, 2 months is still pretty short. If it ends today if it actually ends in a week, it's still a pretty short war. But it shouldn't. Honestly, I think that Trump needs to stop trying to negotiate with these guys. Yay area, what's up, dude? It's good to see you. We got Bob in the house. We got this is my last video to react to. Jason has bootlicker tattooed across his chest. That's hilarious, bro. But yeah, no, this is the last video we're going to react to. I'll probably at some point later on tonight decide to do a live video, but I think majority of the day for me is just going to be spent chilling out in the sun, hanging out with family and stuff.
We get distracted very easily by a multitude of different things, but what is the short war? What does that mean? Is that a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years? Are we comparing it to Iraq and Afghanistan? In which case, a lot of wars would be a lot shorter. But it's really they're masters of that delay tactic, which allows them to rest, to refit, to put more pressure on the Trump administration because of rising oil prices. But really, this isn't about just that regional security, those regions.
Sometimes you can't negotiate with the devil. You just can't. Sometimes, especially when you give them opportunity after opportunity. Look, Iran is deadly, man.
Oil prices that affect, of course, the global market. It's about reestablishing this dominance that the United States had after World War II, this deterrent effect that we had across the globe so we could ensure the freedom of trade routes around the globe. That of course, fell to the American taxpayer, the United States Navy, and ushered in decades and decades of prosperity unknown throughout the annals of human history. So really what this is about is reestablishing that, because we lost that when we left Afghanistan in August of 2021. And of course, China is watching very closely. And at this point, we really have no choice but to win.
So that's one thing I want to talk about is China. You say China's watching closely, and there's no doubt they are. Do you think China has eyes on Taiwan?
They certainly have eyes on Taiwan, and I think the translation from the Chinese is that the military has to be ready to retake Taiwan by 2027. I think it's been misinterpreted as they're going to take it by 2027, but I really think that it is they have to be prepared to take it by 2027. So we're getting close, of course, to that date, but it's just the preparation side of it. So how this outcome of this war will certainly affect whether they do that, because from the mid-1800s to the mid-1900s, that was 100 years of humiliation for the Chinese, and the last vestige of that is Taiwan. So it's very important to them, not just because of the semiconductors and all that, but it's a source of national pride and part of that humiliation that they experienced for 100 years.
I was reviewing the way different presidents, vice presidents answered the question of what should Iran do? What is the message to Iran? And when Joe Biden was asked this, he said don't. And when Kamala was asked this, she said don't. And when Trump was asked this, he said, I will bomb the bleep out of you. No.
One moment. All right, let's keep watching.
I think the latter approach, it may be messier, but is probably the one that gets through to China more than the simple word don't.
I would think so. And then even those the tactical level successes of the United States on the battlefield, because it shows that some of the same equipment that the Chinese have are the same equipment that Iran has, and that we can readily defeat that militarily. So it's really that economic pressure on the country of Iran, and we have to remember that they view things differently. We don't share that same cultural heritage, those same traditions, where they might not care about their people as much as our leadership would care about us. So, so there's an incredible amount of...
And that's what makes the United States incredibly different, way different than other countries out there, because we actually give a damn about the soldiers that we're sending out to battle. You know, Samuel Westall, what's up, bro? All right, give me a moment.
Pressure on that regime, which filters down to the people, unfortunately. But I think that regime, whatever's left of it, is willing to take a lot of heavy
What's up,
hits.
Samuel Westall? It's the last video I'm reacting to for the day.
Sacrifice a lot of that populace,
or at least for now.
in defense of their national
react
sovereignty.
later on.
Jack Carr, thank you. The fourth option is out soon. I have a birthday gift coming from my husband. I wonder what it could be.
Yeah, I'd love to see I'd love to see this war end as much as anybody. And I believe Trump has been in the right this entire time. I really do. So, hey, we're at 10,514 subs. If you guys can, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow a lot. Once again, we're at 10,514 subscribers. So, feel free to subscribe if you guys can. It really does help us grow in a lot of ways. So, we're trying to expand our reach on the tubes. So, please subscribe. For now, I'm going to end the stream. I do want to thank each and every one of you guys, and we're ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.